Now, we've got on the line Stephen S. Edwards, and we're going to talk about his book, Those Silly Americans, a collection of many reasons why Stephen thinks Republicans are holding America back from achieving true greatness. And of course, he's here with us. How are you doing today?
Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
So, in what way do you think Republicans are holding America back from achieving true greatness?
Oh, Lord, it is on a daily basis. I mean, every day I could probably give you a new example. I mean, you have to be there in the States. You see the news every day, or
Yeah.
if you're international, you got the CNN or the MSNBC and the Fox News. I see everywhere, some parts of the world, because I'm always on the road. I've been on the road for 25 years, for good's sake.
Mm.
But they are always there to block you from achieving or taking the next level. As soon as you get a little bit ahead and they think you have a little bit of cash, then all of a sudden the price of some goods will go up. So they're going to find a way to extract it back out of you one way or another. And it's just really, really unfortunate because it is the richest country. It is the country that the whole world looks upon, and it has to do better. They're blinded right now. It's been happening for the last 15, 20 years. And the younger generation, they have to come in and take over if they don't. I mean, it's not just America that depends upon it. It's the whole world. It's many, many countries, and
Yeah.
the biggest thing is if they see something happen in the US, then they have a little bit of like we can do it too. If they can do it there, then it's okay to do it here. No, it's not. But they use that as an excuse because America is the leaders. But right now, there's just so much bizarreness, maybe we'll use a word, that's going on all over. It's just crazy. And I've put in 35 years of business experience. I've traveled many parts of the world. I know what people's thoughts are about America. I mean, when Obama was running against Hillary, that's all people would ask me. Hey, Obama or Hillary? Hey, Obama. It's like, I'm here for dinner. I'm having fish and chips. That's a true story. I forgot the name of this place, but it was London. And I went there specifically because they were supposed to have the best fish and chips. And it was a huge, I've never seen such a big piece of fish. And because we don't get it that big in America on the fish and chips. Oh, it was great. So, anyways,
Yeah.
the outcome was obvious. Obama won. And then I put in the book how, Obama was good on a lot of things, but I also put in there how he was very bad. And he didn't do well on his second term. He just totally dropped the ball. He had so much more power to do some good things. He's a good man, but man, did he screw up. So I put how he screwed up in the book, how he could have done much better. I criticized the European Union, for goodness sakes. It's like, what are you waiting for? It's like you didn't see this coming. So I put that in there. I put in business experience I have. I mean, the thing is, I look at what I put in a smorgasbord of everything in this book. I mean, these are all direct experiences. It's like, what are you going to do? You shut down for COVID. So I went to Dubai and wrote a book.
And where does the book lie on the political spectrum? Because criticising Republicans kind of makes it left wing, but criticising the European Union makes it about right wing as well.
I kind of go after everybody, even the Democrats, how they're failing on their own successes. I think that's obvious. I think they now recognize that. Biden is finally coming out swinging just a little bit. He's always a little bit slow. I think he does it purposely, but he gets the job done. And he came out with that speech a couple of days ago calling those Trump supporters lunatics. He didn't use the word lunatic, but he's finally calling them out. And it's like, you should have been calling them out immediately. And as often as you can, you should warn the public about not sending the guy any money. The guy meaning Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Don't send him any money. He's a total fraudster. He's been a fraudster all his life. People don't know that. And instead of having a great legacy and going off and making tons of money after your presidency, he's all embroiled in litigation in courts. It's like, what are you doing? And then you're trying to say, election was stolen. What are you doing? What are you thinking? Get it out of your head. You lost. I mean, should we now go back to the Super Bowl and say, oh wow, let's do the Super Bowl again? And that wasn't fair either, even though it was on film, even though there's 8 referees on the field. It's just ludicrous, this guy, and how people are buying into it. And I'm trying to give them a wake up call, because I've traveled all over the U.S. My business was all over the U.S. I guess 99% of the businesses in the U.S., you are home based. So if you're from a certain city, you operate out of that city. I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, but I operated everywhere else. I barely did business in Phoenix, which was very interesting. Vegas, LA, New York was one of my busiest markets. DC was my busiest market next to New York. So I put in my experiences about 9/11, getting people out of New York after the 9/11. They were like screaming at me to get them out. It's like, I only have so many cars. I had to take people down to DC, one down to Tennessee, one down to Florida, Palm Beach. Wow. Oh man, we were going everywhere. Yeah. You couldn't fly. That not only commercial, but they shut down the private. And all I handled was the private jet business. That's all I did. So yeah, they couldn't fly their own airplanes. So I had to drive them down. They didn't want to stay in New York. They wanted to get the heck out of there. They were like, get me out of here. Yeah, I understood it. I mean, New York's a great city, but and I criticized George Bush about the 9/11. I kind of go into detail of, yeah, he knew it was coming, and all those people involved. And then you mentioned something about the politics. I put in a ton of politics in here. I even put their photos. I put in about Lindsey Graham and how, what he's doing in desperate modes to be a politician. I put in there Grassley. He's 88 years old. I'm like, dude, enough. Retire. Just retire. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's on the Supreme Court. She should have retired when she was 70 something. Just enjoy life. Why do you need to stay on the bench? Obama was in firm control. You would have had another Democrat there in their 50s. What are you waiting for? I mean, why do you want to be on the bench? Is it a part? So I kind of give people the analytics of the American mindset. It's like, this is how Americans are. This is who they are and how they are, and they're not going to change soon. You can change them; they can change, but they have to do it on their own. You got to give them a wake up call, and right now they really, really need a wake up call.
Yeah. And on your website, it says statistics, things to note before you read. And one of them is that there are 12,000 UFO sightings in the US. What's the importance of that statistic?
That we are not alone. Yeah, we are not alone. I've had 3 experiences, 3. The first one, thousands of Phoenicians were involved with it. We saw those lights because they were up there for more than an hour or 45 minutes or something like that. But they were just so obvious. I remember even pulling off the road to stare at them. And we really didn't have the iPhones and the good cameras back then, but some people did record it. So those are the Phoenix lights. They were big. Those ones were big because I was at least 20 miles, some odd miles away, and I saw them clear as day. And so that's that. Then I had about 2 years ago, I think, it's about a year before COVID hit. So that would have been 2019. This is right in front of my house. I take a smoke break at like 1:30 a.m. Actually, no. This one was just before midnight, 11:30 p.m., I think-ish. And there's a glowing object above my neighbor's house. Behind his house, we have like a little tiny lake. And then it goes back to housing and desert, blah, blah. So this is in Phoenix, Arizona. And I'm watching it. It's like a spin top. And I'm just staring at it. I'm not drunk. I'm feeling drunk. So by the time I go in to get my camera, I bring my camera out, I take pictures, it starts drifting off. It was drifting off and it just kept going until it was out of my sight. And I even called the emergency 911 line that we have in the States to report it. And I said, this is not normal. Is there a way you can call the tower? I mean, I said, this thing is just too obvious. I mean, I cannot be the only one looking at this thing. And the operator didn't know what to do. So
Mm.
I put a little bit of that story in there. And then we got the big one that happened to me in 2020. This is like November 12th, November 13th. It was like 11:30 p.m. at night. I'm circling back to find my other driver who got lost going from Phoenix to Albuquerque. So I'm like, okay, just stay where you are. I'll come get you. I take the shortcut road, which is going right, cutting through the middle of the desert south of Albuquerque. It's a city called Grants, New Mexico, and that's about maybe 30 miles or so. How many kilometers is that? Whatever. I think it's
That's
like
cool.
65 kilometers, something like that. Anyway, so you take the road from that city and there's nothing. There's desert. There's no stores. There is nothing for about 135 kilometers
Mm.
or more, something like that. So I was about 50 kilometers in, probably more than that. And all of a sudden, my truck, so I go into the story of what happens after that. It just was a bizarre situation. I saw what I saw. I put all the details in the book. I felt the energy. It's real. And people just going to have to come to the conclusion. And I think more and more the populations are that they realize that if we could be here, there could be other life. And I'm here to say, yeah, there certainly is. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any doubt. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. And why is this book called Those Silly Americans?
Well, I put a lot of my personal stories in there where I have kind of dictates human behavior of Americans.
Mm.
Is it their jealousy? Is it their it's like how can they be stuck on a certain human in a certain way when your business is done with somebody, move on with life. And for some reason, people just get stuck. So is it power? Let the public decide what it is. But I'm telling my stories of how these people want to try to bring you down and how far, at what lengths they go. It's like, what is wrong with you? And they always wonder, well, how is Stephen able to do this? How is he able to do that? So I put some examples in there of some really bad behavior coming from our judges, coming from the bench, and these people got mud on their face, and there's nothing they can do about it. They'll never guess in a million years. Oh wow, he's going to write a book about us. I'm like, yes, why not? you you want to misbehave like this to a guy like me? No, not allowed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I try to put it in a lightened way, and it is. But these are stories of people just not going to believe. They're going to say, "What? This happens where?" And these people did what?
Yeah.
So it's you're going to get a lot of therapists involved saying, they're going to go solicit these judges, see
Yeah.
if they need help. They can use their insurance plan to pay for their psychological. See how I look at things? You gotta, it is what it is. You are who you are. And I put that in the book. There's a lot of stuff in there that's it's kind of pretty interesting. So wait till you read it. It's actually, you know what? It's available, I think, officially today. I think we finally got it downloaded. It's under Those Silly Americans, tsamericans.com.
Yeah.
The ebook version, I think, is available for sure. The print version, they can order it now and they can get a copy. They're going to be surprised. I got experiences of my career, what I did. There's it's a smorgasbord. I'm telling you, it bounces. It goes from here to there to there. You go into politics, you go into finance, how to make Americans better off. And Americans being better off is good for the world. It needs to go in that direction.
Yeah.
I got a message to Putin. I got a message to Trump because Trump, see, I was in the limousine business. I serviced the jets too. I chartered. One of his drivers actually is Ivana's driver, his wife that just passed away.
Yeah.
Me and him went to a New York Mets ball game. So he gave me a lot of stories on Trump way back in the day. This is like 2005, 4, 3, 2, all those like 5 year span. That guy drove for me for almost 5 years. He was Ivana's driver. So you know a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
I drove celebrities and business people for over 25 years. I got tons of stories. I put a couple of them in the book. One of them is deceased, so it was okay because I still have a privacy policy. People in my cars, I protect. That's why I had them so long, and I didn't.
Right.
You know, when people hire limos for weddings, I never got into that kind of business. It was only for the corporate world, business world, blah blah blah.
Well, have you got any more books coming up after this one?
I'm going to, it's interesting you say that. I can do a book just on my limousine jet charter business alone.
Ooh.
And that's under consider. Oh, I got tons of stories. I can do a movie on that one. I got tons of stories. So that's possible. I just finished this one. We're just now going to print. We're just now getting it officially released. Like I said, I think it's actually today. It's now officially available on ebooks. I believe Amazon and all that. If not, I think it's tomorrow.
Hmm.
But pretty much we're there. We're at that stage. So that's that. And then yeah, we'll see where it goes from there.
Excellent. Well, in the meantime, just remind us of all the places that we're able to find this book, Those Silly Americans.
tsamericans.com, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Oh, there's going to be a lot of platforms out there. I think if they can go direct to the website, tsamericans.com, they can actually order it right there direct from the website, ebooks.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for coming on the show today. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you.